I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay.
Good morning! It is New Year's Day. It is the first day of 2024 and Chris and I are out on a run, and walk, hike, waddle, and Chris is out on a ride. So he's actually just gone home because the place he's gone to is flooded, so he's had to change his plans, and I'm hoping the area I'm going isn't flooded, so we'll see when we get there. Short one for me, only about 5k. The original plan was an 11k route, but getting up a bit later, I kind of thought a shorter one would be better because we have still got quite a busy day today. So yeah, going for a shorter one. Don't have as much in my bag, but do have stuff from my adventure bag, so I'll chat through that in a bit. So my route today is about 5k. As I say, I originally had one planned which was about 11, but on rethinking whether carrying weight around, it's been a while since I've done a really long hike, and getting up quite late this morning, I've shortened it down. So I'm following mostly along the same route. I've just cut a bit out, which actually turned out to be about 6k of the route. So today I'm going to go to a nature reserve, which I didn't realise was as close to me as it is, and go and explore a bit of that, which should be quite nice. And hang on, I just have to check I haven't missed my turn in. Okay, my turn in's not yet, I've not missed it. So yeah, short walk, go around the nature reserve, find somewhere to maybe stop and have a bit of a hot chocolate, and I've got some biscuits and snacks and bits, but let's have a quick chat about what's in my kit. So kit wise, I've brought part of the adventure kit with me, following the rules of I only use what's in the bag, except for the stuff I'm bringing on a daily basis, food, etc. So I've got my spare hat, gloves, like warming up set, battery bank, little camping stove, and cup, and then like my little set with my tea in, and head torch, although I didn't need it this morning because it was light enough by the time I was out. But my head torch pack has my head torch, my cables for charging, and like my spare battery for my GoPro, which I haven't set up yet. So yeah, not a huge amount of kit. I haven't brought much out. Originally for the 11k I was going to have a few more things in there, so a couple of extra layers, first aid kit, and one or two other bits, but because I'm only doing 5, I've kind of scrapped that. I don't need the first aid kit, especially not when I'm like this close to home, but sometimes like it's nice to have it, and I think if I was doing hiking elsewhere I would probably take it. So when I go on holiday I might take it with me, but just take the scissors out, dependent on space. So yeah, but I mean that's my kit really. Most of it's just snacks and water, because I tend to get really hungry lately, and that on top of hiking means I'll get more hungry. And the only thing I've added that isn't on my kit list, which I'm counting as my daily list, is my support band, which I'm not wearing, I have brought with me, so if I start to struggle I can put it on. Oh, and I have got my hiking poles, but I've sort of upgraded my hiking poles. They fold down a lot smaller, so they take up a lot less space, which means I can put them in my bag instead of having to attach them on my bag. And the idea will be I can take them with me when we go on our training camp, because I'm going to be doing a lot less running, and a lot more hiking, so they're there if I need them, and they're quite easy to pack away in a bag, and they're not drastically expensive. So I have to put them into the hold luggage, I can't have them as carry-on. So if something happens and they go missing, it's not a massive loss. You can get some like really posh, decent branded fancy ones. I'm not spending £100, £200 on a pair of hiking poles and then risking losing them on the flight over. They are more just for if I need them rather than relying on them, but they seem to be quite good. They seem to be quite sturdy. They were probably only 20-30 quid off Amazon, but maybe I'll do like a video down the line, tell you a bit more about them when I've spent a bit more time with them. So yeah, I'm gonna go do a bit more walking, try and find my turn off to find this nature reserve, and listen to a bit of music for a bit.
I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago, I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm...
So I'm on the nature reserve, which is quite sodden, and apparently is right next to places I've run and hiked several times but just never realised. I just thought it was some random field. So we'll see how I get on with this. I'm fine anyway because I've got hiking boots, but yeah, hopefully might not be too muddy. We'll see if we can find anything fun.
And for the first time in a long time, I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago.
So that last little bit of path was a bit awful. This bit's not much greater. So over there is, I think it's supposed to be a lake, but it's also meant like this bit is flooded. So yeah, so much for getting my shoes clean. Basically these are the shoes that I wore to my last like outdoor training thing where I was doing like outdoor skills training, and they got muddy as anything, so I thought, oh, I know, I'll put them on, and as I'm walking all the mud will knock off. And then it came around a nature reserve, so yeah, they're going to be just as muddy when I go home anyway. But I'm hoping to go up way, which then should take me up, and then maybe I can have a coffee, a snack, get out of the mud, and then make my way home. Maybe finding as many puddles as possible. So I found a little perching spot. I forgot to bring my carrier bag to sit on, so I have my waterproof jacket from my bag, which I'm using to sit because it's waterproof, so it's just to keep my butt dry. And I've just got my little camping stove going, well away from grass or anything that can do any harm, and plenty of water to put stuff out if I need to. So I'm just sat over a lake which has bursted the banks and gone onto the grass, and I'm going to do a hot chocolate. But yet again, I have forgotten fucking cutlery, haven't I? You would have thought I would have learned from last time. So when I get home, I am actually going to take my cutlery set and I am actually going to put it into the bag, and then I might remember it, unless I've already done that and just not realised, but I don't think I have. So, I am, well, I mean to anyone looking from the road, because I'm quite close to the road, it's only like there. To anyone looking in, I'm just a random weirdo sitting in the middle of a field. But, I'm actually not. I'm at the midway point of my hike. I think it might be more than 5k. I don't think when I plotted the route out, it plotted it properly. So, yeah, I should get home about 11ish. Roughly, then get showered, sorted, ready for the afternoon. But I'm just sat with a hot chocolate and just kind of watching the world go by, mentally preparing myself for the week ahead. as we return to the normality of work-life balance. Although tomorrow is a slightly shorter day, so should give me a nice, easier settle back in. It's shorter because I've got midwife appointment, so just go and see how little Bubble is doing. And yeah, just sat watching the world go by, really, listening to a bit of music, just watching the birds, enjoying a hot drink, and just taking it all in, really. I suppose one of the things I really wanted to achieve from the Adventure Bag series, and I'm really not sure where it's going to go, because I started it in June and it's due to finish in June, and the idea was I would get to the end and then like review my kit and stuff, and I think I probably I probably will still do that, but I don't think it'll be the end of it. I've got flapjack all down my dress. I think I'll probably just extend it and keep it going and keep the chapters going, so it's not going to be like 12 months of the Adventure Bag. It's probably just going to become the Adventure Bag. And one of the things I really wanted to achieve from it was really big adventures, really big challenges. So that's bike packing, backpacking, hiking, lots of camping. I wanted to go and do some like kayaking, and then of course as soon as I learned about pack crafting, I was like, that's it, I was hooked. I was looking online to see how much pack craft would cost, and the logistics of that. And yeah, it kind of didn't go to plan for many reasons. One of the big ones has been work. I easily clock in anywhere 50 to 60 hours a week, but also just life, timing, just trying to fit them in on the weekends, because normally on the weekends I'm then recovering, I've got other stuff I need to do, catching up with all the housework and things, and it can make it quite difficult to fit adventures in, especially bigger ones, unless we book time off. So yeah, there's been a lot of challenges to it, and I'll probably do a bit of a deeper dive. But one thing I have learned is an adventure is an adventure no matter how big it is. So I mean, I've only been out for a couple of hours, about 8:30. It's I think 10 o'clock now, about an hour and a half, and it'll probably take me about another hour to get back. So, you know, out for a good couple of hours, and I'll probably have only covered 5, 7, 8k, I don't know, something like that. And I'm not that far from home. Like, I could easily go and call Chris, tell him to drive around and pick me up, or jump on a bus or something. But it's still an adventure, because it's still getting out, and it's being outdoors, and it's doing something, and it's not sitting in front of the TV. So yeah, I think kind of on midway reflection, it's good that I still have got out on adventures, not as many as I would have liked to, and definitely not as big as I would have liked to, but I have still got out on some, and I will keep them going as best I can. They will start to get a bit harder. It'll more than likely just be mostly hikes. I can't see myself doing any pack crafting in my current state. If I do, it could end tragically. But yeah, I think the moral from this ramble is, it doesn't matter how far you go, where you go, or what you do. If you're doing something and it's outdoors and it's adventurous, then you've gone on an adventure. So yeah, here's to lots of adventures for you for 2024. Whatever you're doing, do drop us a comment, let me know, share your thoughts, and yeah, let me know if you've ever just been sat in a field drinking a hot chocolate, watching the birds on the lake like a bit of a weirdo. So over there is a man who has come out for a walk, and that part is reasonably like navigatable, and the part where he is very flooded, so he's probably not going to go much further, but I admire his commitment to try. I don't know how well you will have seen him on the camera because he's really far away and he's just in jeans and trainers. Good commitment though. there is a field. So is that. So I spotted Chris whilst I was going out on my walk. He was coming back. He'd done a shorter one because part of the route he'd went through, like, the river had burst its banks and flooded, and this has kind of done the same. We've also had a mass of like heavy rainfall, so everything's like flooded. So the lane I'm on's fine. This is Peeperday Lane. Probably seen me come down before. I used to ride down here a lot to get to work. It's quite a popular cycle path, running path, and it is part of the Abingdon Marathon as well. So a really good place to come and cheer people on, because by the time you've kind of come down and done 2 laps, you end up in the Hurt Locker. So yeah. So that's me en route back. When I drew this map, it definitely didn't draw properly, because this is going to be more than 5k. So I was at 4, and by the time I start Peeperday Lane, that's 2 miles. So whatever that is in kilometres, so probably looking about 7-ish k, which isn't bad for a morning hike. So yeah, take a stroll home, showered, changed, ready for the afternoon, and wash up my cups and bits. I ended up stirring my hot chocolate with the packet that the hot chocolate came in, which is handy. But I do have I found a camping set at home whilst I was doing some decluttering, and there is like a cutlery set in there, so I'm just going to chuck that into my bag, because I think I brought that with the intention of going camping, never took it camping, because where you tend to do bike packing, so a lot of the stuff we use is smaller, but that folds down quite flat, so we'll sort that out when we get back. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the journey.
I ain't going back, I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows, and we're all going live. Still nobody knows, but I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago.